If you're in the market for a new family-sized car, you're probably considering a crossover or an SUV. Vauxhall's new Grandland is available as either a hybrid or a fully electric car. Let's take a look around it. First thing we can see is a very smoothed off profile, quite a chunky looking thing. We've got this sort of glassy cover over this front Vauxhall logo, which is now it's illuminated, and we've got these LED strips which join it up with the headlamps either side. Vauxhall has gone on a chrome killing mission. It's decided that chrome is very harmful for the environment as it's being produced, so they've got rid of all chrome on this car. So the logos, the badges, everything's all gone. There's no window trims around. If you were a Vauxhall lover of old and you had chrome trim on everything, this is not the car for you. We do have the hint to the old Vauxhalls with a sort of ridge in the bonnet, a bit like the old Vauxhall Forenza. Ask your dads all about that one. We've got this lower grille, very smooth bumper. These headlamps on the GS and the Ultimate spec are pixel LED matrix headlamps. So they do the masking of cars, so you can basically have them on full beam all the time and it masks where cars are, so it gives you a brilliant view of the road ahead at night. Gloss black trims down here and around this bumper and around the wheel arch and so on, and continues up on the GS, and on the Ultimate you get a two-tone effect, so you get a black roof with black mirrors. We've got 19-inch diamond cut alloys as standard. If you go for the Ultimate spec, then you've got a 20-inch alloy that's available on the electric, but not on the hybrid. Normally, cars have got like strips on the door here, like often with chrome, as it was, but they've got rid of all that, so it's really sort of smooth, crisp look here against the windows. Keyless entry, obviously. The black gloss continues around the bottom part of the car. We've got tinted windows on the GS model as well. Moving around the back, we've got this sort of spoiler which juts out. We've got a little peak here, which is the upper third brake light, and we've got these linear LEDs which run all the way along the back of the car. Again, the Vauxhall logo is illuminated plastic rather than it being chrome. And rather than having Grandland, GS, all the other badges in chrome, this has just got a recessed Grandland sort of imprinted into the boot itself. This car is now 17 centimetres longer than the old Grandland, and that means that inside we've got a cavernous boot. We've got this board here, we can put it in the top position. That means you've got a nice smooth load level. If you drop it down, maximises your boot space. We've actually still got storage under there for charging cables, breakdown kit, that sort of thing. But if you put it all the way down, 550 litres of boot space, which is absolutely massive. It's a really square size as well. And we've got triple folding rear bench, so we've got a 40-20-40 split, which makes it really practical. You can either take really long loads through the middle, or you can fold down one or the other really outer seats, or all three if you want, whichever suits your needs best. It's a good height for loading stuff into as well, so I think actually as a boot, as a family car, makes a lot of sense. So the interior of the Grandland has been thoroughly redesigned. It actually looks, I think, really quite good. We've got this 16-inch massive touchscreen display here, which has got, it's customizable. You've got different tiles and things that you can set on there. With one swipe of your finger you can make it all simpler, and it makes this a bit simpler as well, so you don't get distracted as much. This is a 10-inch widescreen display here, which we see through the wheel, very similar to how you do on the Peugeot 3008. Various textured fabrics around here, these on the sides mirroring the fabric we've got in the middle of the seats as well, and sort of like t-shirty sort of jersey sweatery material on certain of the touch points, a bit of sort of vinyl-y, sort of leathery type stuff here. There's quite a lot of different stuff going on, but everything you're touching is actually from recycled fibres, which is nice to see from a sustainability point of view. As I said, this 16-inch screen, very configurable. We've got loads of stuff that we can swipe between, and it's all very responsive, which is nice to see. Obviously, Bluetooth hands-free. It's got wireless Android Auto and wireless CarPlay as standard, which is good when you've got a wireless phone charger as well. We've got some physical buttons for temperature for driver and passenger with dual zone climate control and fan controls as well, and heated rear windows and so on. Sort of haptic buttons there. There's a centrally mounted air vent here, another one for the passenger there, and then the drivers, and there's also one on the passenger door, we've got these vents mounted in the doors, so rather than have it sort of hidden back behind the wheel, instead it's actually blowing out through the door itself, which means it can come to your face if you want it there. The steering wheel is a new design. It feels very comfortable in the hands, and it's heated on this model. We've got speed limit setting, we've got active cruise control, we can adjust that with this keypad. On this side we've got your volume and your menu buttons. We've got flappy paddles for adjusting regen, ambient lighting built in, which we can change the colour of as well. And then we come down the dash into this pod here, and this is called the Pixel Box. And this black plastic bit at the front here is actually a little portal, a window into the wireless phone charger. So you shouldn't obviously have your phone out whilst you're driving. Instead, you can put it there. It's a wireless phone charger. Close it away, and that keeps it still within view. You can still see that it's charging. For example, the green light I can see there to show that it's charging. But it's that way, you can't touch it, so you're not feeling tempted to pick it up whilst you're driving. Under here as well, there's 2 USB-C chargers, and then under this lower section down here, we've got another 12-volt socket down there as well. We've got 2 cup holders here. You can slide this around. So if, say, for example, you've got a can of Coke, and normally it would rattle around, you can squeeze it up and hold it in place so it isn't going to move anywhere. We've got this butterfly opening centre console here with a little oddments tray that's removable or can be slid from one side to the other. That's for places like keys and coins and things. And that goes down quite a long way. You can see my hand disappears all the way in there. And that's actually air conditioned. So we can, and there's an adjuster so you can have it on cool air or not. So you can actually make it so that if you're keeping cans or drinks and things in there, they stay cool. Sunglasses holder up here. These seats are ergonomic. They've got this cutout in the middle here. The idea is your tailbone doesn't have pressure put on it because it's got this cutout, so you've got your buttocks sit either side, and then that means that you don't put as much pressure on your coccyx. The seats are really adjustable. In fact, the headrest, as well as going up and down, can actually move in and out as well. So you've got loads of levels of comfort you can get yourself into. So yeah, overall, it's quite snug, sort of. It does feel a bit like a cockpit, really. Let's have a quick look in the back and see what it's like for the rear passengers. So in the back, we've got loads of space. This seat is set for me. I'm 5'11", and as you can see, I've got about 6 inches of knee room, which is good, and the feet can go under the seat in front as well. So yeah, long journey with plenty of room in here. The seats, again, comfortable in the back here. We've got a full sort of 2.5 seat layout here. We've got an armrest which folds down with a couple of cup holders and a slot there for sweets or pens or what have you. 2 USB-C chargers and a 12-volt socket. And there's like a little storage bin down there as well, and a little bit of a storage area there. Mat pockets on the back of the seats, and then up here there's a place for you to store your mobile phone or sort of little odds and ends like that as well. If you're a rear seat passenger, that works quite well. If you go for the ultimate spec, you also get heated seats in the back as well with multi-stage heating, which would be nice. But this GS is very comfy even so. Plenty of headroom. I've got a good few inches of headroom. Loads of leg room. So I think on longer journeys, even teenage kids are going to be very, very comfortable in the back here. Let's see what it's like to drive. So what's it like to drive? Well, the Grandland Electric is very smooth. It's built on the same platform as the Peugeot E3008, and so it drives fairly similarly, to be fair. It's got plenty of power. It's 213 PS, so 0 to 60 is in 9 seconds, so it's a little bit faster than the hybrid, which takes just over 10. The steering's very precise and clear. Suspension seems very well damped, and there's not a lot of road noise coming through. And on these 19-inch wheels, at least, it's a very smooth ride. And the seats are very, very comfortable. They've got like a sort of memory foam on them. Vauxhall call it ergonomic seating. It is. It's very, very comfortable. They hold you in well. They sort of mould to your body, which is nice. On longer journeys, it helps to prevent numbness and that sort of thing. Really good visibility out, actually, all the way around. This dark headlining does give quite a sort of dark interior feel. If you go for the Ultimate, then you get a panoramic sunroof, which is nice to have. And we've got this sunglasses holder. You don't get many of those in cars nowadays. So it's got, good things to hand, and there's lots of stuff around, cubby holes around the dashboard as well. On this, we've got heated seats and heated steering wheel. We've got those on at the moment because it's currently 6 degrees outside and it's very, very chilly, and we get cold when we're filming. In terms of drivability though, it's easy. There's plenty of power when you put your foot down. So on the motorway, it's got functionality to help you drive. So we've got speed adjusting cruise control. It's got active lane keeping assist. You can turn this stuff off if you don't like it. Button on there, it's fairly easy to do. But it does mean that, on motorway journeys, it takes over some of the effort from you. In terms of road noise and things, we're driving along currently 60 miles an hour on the motorway. It's very refined. Seats are still comfortable. Now, if you go for the top Ultimate spec, you actually can get laminated windows with basically noise cancelling. It's basically a more insulated drive, so you get even less wind noise. We've got a good sound system. It's got 6 speakers. If you go for the Ultimate, again, you get an upgrade. You get a 10-speaker focal sound system. So if you want to really, blast out those tunes, then perhaps look to the top spec. But this GS is, I think, probably the sweet spot in the range. It's got everything you could probably need. If you go for the Ultimate, you get things like heads-up display, you get the panoramic sunroof, you get the 10 speakers, but it is a couple of grand more, so it's a case of whether you think that's worth it or not. So under this charging flap, we've got AC, that's up to 11 kilowatts AC charging. Down here we've got the CCS port, so on a CCS charger, you should get up to 160 kilowatts charge speed, which basically means for about half an hour to go from 10% to 80%, which is pretty standard these days. Being the electric version, this has got 213 brake horsepower and does 0 to 60 in around 9 seconds. Top speed north of 100 miles an hour, so absolutely plenty for what you can do in the UK anyway. Officially, the range is 325 miles. There is a bigger battery version coming later, which will have a range of over 400 miles. 429, I think they're claiming. Now, that will cost a few £1,000s more, but if you're doing a lot of motorway driving or lots of long journeys, shall I say, then maybe you might think that's worth it. But for the majority of people, this 73 kilowatt hour battery with sort of 200 to 300 miles range is absolutely fine for day-to-day stuff, because most people only do, 20, 30 miles a day as an average. So by comparison, what's the hybrid like to drive? Well, it's not quite as powerful as the electric, so it's got a electric motor and a 48 volt battery, which has around 28 brake horsepower available from the electric motor. So clearly it's not going to drive very fast or very far on an electric mode alone. It's got a 3-cylinder, 1.2 litre petrol turbo engine. In total, it's got around 136 brake horsepower. And that's good for 0 to 60 in about 10.2 seconds. Everything in the car is exactly the same as it was in the electric version. So all the interior switches, all of the menus, it basically feels identical. But it's a 6-speed automatic gearbox. It's got the same drive mode selector and different drive modes as what the electric version has. One difference that this has got on the inside is on the drive mode selector, we've got a M button, and that then means that the flappy paddles that were for regen in the EV are now for gear changes in this, so we can change down the gears manually: 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th gear. So it's got 6 gears you can choose from. That's using the manual mode. So we've got the same cruise control, speed limit, all those sort of functionality that we've got in the electric version. They claim that it can do 50 to 52 miles per gallon on the official WLTP driving cycle. On the short bit of driving we've done today, it's varied between, well, currently showing 62 miles per gallon at the moment, but we have had it as low as 34. So again, depending on how you're driving and how warm the engine is and things like that, might vary on how many miles per gallon you actually get, and therefore how far it will go. Same as it does in an electric car. Then what does it come down to running costs? Well, actually, in terms of buying the car outright, there's around £2,000 to £2,500 of difference between the hybrid model and the fully electric. But on a monthly payment basis, if you're looking at a finance deal, actually the monthly payments come out pretty similar for both cars. So there's no real sort of cost premium for going for the electric model. So then it comes down to what you need to do. Well, if you can charge at home, then I think that the electric model makes perfectly good sense. It can do 200 to 300 miles or more on a single charge. Most people don't do that in a day's driving, so if you can charge it at home, you're sorted. You just plug it in like a mobile phone overnight. When you wake up in the morning, it's full. If you can't do that, then the hybrid makes the best sense, really, because you get 50 miles per gallon and you'll be able to fill it up at the fuel station, same as you do any other car. And you get low running costs and all the rest of it. So which you choose kind of depends on whether you can charge at home or not. But they both drive very well. The electric model would give you lower running costs. Typically with an EV, charged on an off-peak tariff, you're looking at running costs of around 2 to 3 pence per mile. Whereas with a hybrid car, you're looking at costs probably more close to sort of 14 pence, 15 pence per mile for petrol. So if you do a lot of miles, the EV makes more sense. But no, in terms of fit, finish, everything else, they're identical. The specs are identical. You've got a decision to make of just which one you go for. Are you ready for electric? If not, go for the hybrid. The Grandland is representing another electrified car in the Vauxhall lineup. Of course, we've got the Corsa, the Astra, soon to be the Frontera, as well as this Grandland. So there's basically an electrified option all the way through the lineup, which is good to see. Which would you choose, hybrid or fully electric? Let us know in the comments below. If you've liked the video, click the like button, it really helps us out. If you'd like to subscribe to our channel, you see all the videos when they go live, click up here to subscribe. You'll see the Frontera video as soon as we make that in the next couple of weeks. Click up here for more information about the Grandland hybrid and electric vehicles on our website. Click down here to see the video review we did of the Corsa electric, and click down here to see the video review we did of the Mocha electric. Thanks for watching.